This is Chapter 4, Part 3. The very first thing that we're needing to do to get started here is to open up EventSite that we created in Chapter 3. Now we do need to make some changes here. The very first thing that we need to do is to go in, add a couple of methods for gets and sets, and we also need to add a new constructor, which I've already typed in, which is here. What we've got is we've added a constructor that is going to accept one argument, which is going to be an integer. It's going to accept the this reference as well as going in and setting up our site number. And we will be needing that to interface with this program in just a few moments. I'm going to go ahead and get started in adding in the various methods. We've got to have a get and a set for our site number, for fee, and for name. In the set methods, you will be using void in your method headers because we are not going to be returning anything. All processing will be done in that local method. With your sets, we are setting them up as public because they will be used by another class. The gets we are also going to be using as public reference, but we will need to include in the method header a data type, because remember, with the gets you have to go in and return a data type with us when we return back to the location that sent us to that program. Almost finished here. Just got one more name to do. And then we'll compile. Okay, so what we've got is we have several different, get these lined up, that really bothers me if things don't line up, but we've got several set and get methods throughout our program. We've got two constructors, and because we have two, that means we've put ourselves into an overload. And since this second constructor here is our overload constructor, it has to vary in one way or another from the original. So what's happened here is the original constructor has no arguments, or the default constructor, and then the one that we added has now got one argument. I'm going to compile. It looks like I left off a semicolon, so let me add that in there. Do a compile. Misreturn. Okay. Misspelled that. So we'll go in and change that because it says it can't find symbol. And then I actually down here on get name did not put my data type in. There we go. And that is all you need for the event site. It's just going in, making some multiple changes to it, doing a compile. And as you recall, since there is no main method, I cannot run it. I can only compile it. The next thing we need to do is create a new program, who is demo constructor. Now with the demo constructor, all I'm going to do is go in, set up a couple of objects that allow me to interface with event site. Okay, let me get all this typed in here. We do have to have a main method, since we are going to be interfacing with a program that does not have a main method. Remember, you got to have a main method or have access to a main method. We are going to create some objects, and that will connect us with event site, and whenever we reference to those, I am going to call them site 1 and site 2. Now with these, you'll notice that one does have an argument, one does not. So one of these will be accessing the default constructor, and one will not. Then we have got two call statements here that are going to access a method that we're going to create, whose name is display. Now when we go to display, we have to take something with us, and what we're actually going to take is the information that we are pulling from event site, so that we can produce some output here. Now also, you will notice that we are using the /n notation here in the output. If the /n's are kind of confusing to you, and sometimes they can be, you can use the other methods if you'd like. Now you will also notice we're using concatenation, and we are also getting information from event site to complete our output. Oops, got a typo there. Alright, almost finished here. And then what we'll do is we'll go in and we'll do a compile, and we will see how this information is pulled to complete the output here. And you'll notice I don't have to reference site 1, site 2 as I do the returns to feed this output, because I used the event site object using site here as my argument, and I'm passing site 1 and site 2 in those statements there. Alright, so we need to save our file. It is demo constructor. We need to compile. Alright, let's see. Oops, left off my equal signs up here, and let me add those. We'll recompile, and then we'll run, and you will notice here is our output. We are retrieving information from event site. The first item, event site, should come across as 99. We don't have anything setting the fee or the site number. That's the reason they're coming across as nulls and zeros. The second object is the event site, where we do bring with us the site number. And the site number that we're bringing with us is 678. Therefore, our output is 678 for the event site for the first one, and 999 for the first one there. That concludes Chapter 4, Part 4. Part 3.